What to do about my 40 male fiancé, 42 female, and her 19-year-old son. My 40 male fiancé, 44 female, and I have been together for 3 years and engaged for 6 months. I work a job where I never spent more than 2 years in a place before I get sent somewhere else in the country. We moved in together about 3 months ago. I knew her son was a bit unmotivated, but I didn't quite understand the extent of it. He works part-time and spends all his money on marijuana. He spent all of age 18 in her basement doing nothing. Fiancé would regularly give him weed money whenever he asked. I'd tell her she needs to stop doing that and she'd reply with, I know, but it never stopped. He finally got a job. Yay. He lives in the basement, pays no rent, doesn't pay for his phone bill, doesn't pay for his car insurance. She does. He doesn't do any dishes, clean his bathroom or the basement, cook, grocery shop, or do yard work. We do. He went around to different neighborhoods and literally went through people's trash looking for things to sell. Where did those things end up? The garage. After my fiancé asked him numerous times to get that shit out, we just did it ourselves. We spent a few weekends cleaning out the garage only to walk in there one day to find a pile of tarps that he says cats had peed on. He says he's going to clean them off and fold them neatly this weekend. We'll see. Fiancé still makes his doctor appointments, gives him money, and is absolutely terrified of making him upset. She started crying one day because she thought she had upset him. I told her that if her kid is never upset with her, then she's not parenting properly. Everything that happens revolves around making sure he is content and happy and not inconvenienced. I've told her that she has some codependency issues that really need to be addressed and that she is hurting any chances this dude has at being a productive adult, but it falls on deaf ears. I'm about ready to eject from the relationship. Any insight? My insight is that you shouldn't have moved in with her, knowing this stuff was going on. If you didn't know, then it was way too early to cohabitate. This is not something you can fix, and he will be a burden for a lifetime. I agree with you. My aunt's like that with my cousin. He's 38. Time to get a move and work away from home. She can't fix the problem until she realizes there's a problem. I know she agreed with you, but she seems to be giving you the, go away, yes. If I were you, I'd ask for a plan of action and a timeline, and if nothing happens, I'd leave. Anyone can say they'll do something, but if they don't even have a plan, it almost never happens. Do not accept any attempts at stalling. Bail out, dude. It's not going to change. Any insight? Yes, do not marry her. Husband 34M cheated on me. I'm 32F and not sure how to feel. Hi all. I'm a bit of a mess in my head. My husband and I have been married for 11 years. We have 3 great kids together. So back in January he did cheat on me. It wasn't something too crazy compared to some cases. He got a blowjob from a girl and he claimed many times that they were just friends. I even met her once before and she was a nice girl. The way I found out about the incident is that I did notice he left one early morning and came back while I was sleeping. I didn't think much of it, so I just went about my day. However, throughout the day he was acting so weird. He would say stuff like, "We're gonna be together forever, right?" And kept saying he loves me. The reason why it was odd because he never did that in the past, and I asked him if anything happened and he kept saying no. So that got me curious and I looked through his phone. I found a video of him with his friend, giving him a blowjob. Of course my heart sank and I was shaking. So after dealing with all that mess we still stayed together, but it's really hard for me to trust him again. I know there are worse cases out there, but I thought we were doing really good in our relationship. Right now I just don't feel the same with him anymore. I really tried to for months now, but it's so hard because his choice really broke me. Some days are better than others, but those bad days I just want to leave him and I think I would be happy. I guess what I'm trying to ask, does it get better over time? He always tells me I just need to forget about it, so maybe I should? Am I being too crazy about how I'm feeling? I hope someone went through something similar and gives me advice, since I can't really talk about this with anybody, so maybe strangers of the internet can help. Lol. I feel like I will always have this resentment towards him, and maybe it will be better just to co-parent and just be civil. Thank you for reading my long post. Just need to forget about it is a pretty shitty way to go about it. This is a justifiable exit. He broke the oath. Not sure how anyone can continue without trust. If you think he just got a BJ which he recorded, you are lying to yourself. Who is going to record the one first time cheating? Anyways, why do you want to force to fix this? Or force your feelings? It is over, he messed up. Focus on yourself. What do you want? What do you want to feel? What type of partner you need? Start an exit strategy. If things change, great. If not, you will be halfway out. He is telling you to just move on because he is a low empathy person. He doesn't care how his betrayal has hurt you. Just wants you to shut up about it so he feels better about himself. He minimizes his actions because he might feel ashamed, might just want it to go away, whatever. He did what he did. He has to live with the natural consequences of that. You are not crazy for feeling the way you are feeling. Not at all. It is very common for betrayal traumas to permanently damage the relationship. Cheating is irreparable emo. Sometimes, husband, wife fail, but father, mother can thrive. Sometimes relationships break to the point where they just can't be fixed. It will get easier over time, but you'll never forget what he did. Might want to speak to a family law attorney licensed to practice in your area to see what your options are. Best of luck. Thumbs up. Husband, 30M, and I, 29F, eloped, and my parents are pretending it didn't happen. Throwaway. But me, 29F, and my fiancé, 30M, just eloped a couple of months ago while on vacation. It was the most amazing day, just the two of us. After he proposed, I had suggested the elopement idea since we had a vacation planned and he was totally on board. Wedding planning would have just been super stressful. He has a huge family, and I have a weird family with lots of drama. Plus we weren't into the whole public speaking thing, forced socialization, and forking over a boatload of cash. My husband doesn't come from a well-off family, and while my parents would have pitched in, there are always strings attached. I avoid accepting money from them because it usually is held over me. My mom and, now, husband don't always see eye to eye and both have strong personalities. She has always been the possessive, controlling, and you'll never be good enough type, whereas my husband encourages me to do the things I love, make art, be weird, etc. Anyway, there have been a couple of blow-ups between the two over the last 9 years. Mostly instigated by my mom because she's just not nice, will say horrible things, then lie about her behavior. And my husband will call her out on it. I've tried to tell him to just let things go in the past, that's just what I usually do because I've grown up with this hot and cold demeanor, but that's just not how he operates. He'd rather squash the beef immediately rather than let it stew. I told my parents about the ceremony beforehand because we were going dress shopping for fun and they both aren't super keen on surprises. At first they were excited and talked about having a celebration party when we get back, then changed their minds and didn't talk to me for several weeks. Anytime anything about the ceremony or a party was mentioned they immediately shut it down. My mom cried for days and sent a big long text about what they were hoping for and how they wanted to experience certain things, etc. I don't understand why they wanted a wedding so bad if they were the ones shitting on my partner all the time and trying to get me to leave him. Anyway, we got married. I sent my parents a picture on the day because I hadn't heard from them. My dad said congrats and my mom responded a week later saying, nice picture. When we see each other it's like nothing happened and like I never got married. I'm giving them space and not bringing it up, but it makes me feel pretty bummed. I want to post some pictures on my socials but I don't want to hurt my mom's feelings. I know she'd be pissed that she hasn't seen these pictures, the professional ones, but she never asked or showed any interest. My husband's family are pumped we got married. They're always happy and pleasant. His mom has asked about the party but I sort of deflect the convo because I'm not sure if I want one anymore. Not sure what kind of advice I'm looking for here. Am I bad? Was our decision to elope okay? Or was it weird and self-centered? I know I can't make my parents feel a certain way. I've been internalizing all this worry and sadness and I feel like I'm going crazy. Post the pictures. Your mom is a grown woman and you are not responsible for her feelings. If she can't respect your marriage, maybe it's time to step away from your mom for a bit. Don't let it get to you. Ignore her BS. Post pics and go on with your life. The ball is in mom's court. She can accept your marriage or go on pretending, let her play her little game by herself. Just pretend she isn't being weird, petty and childish. Regardless of your relationship with your mom, she probably was looking forward to some of the traditional things. I'd print the pictures and make her a book and sit down with her one-on-one and explain why this felt like the best option and apologize for hurting her feelings, but that wasn't your intention. Your marriage is to be celebrated, so post the photos, go out on the town as often as you have friends willing and able, dance with your spouse at any song you like, and enjoy being married. Your mom can stay sad over the perfect but non-existent wedding, or decide to celebrate the real one with her living flesh and blood, and new son-in-law. Your mom is hurting her own feelings. I think you need to give them more space and time, by just not contacting them or responding to contact until they acknowledge your marriage. You don't have to put up with mistreatment just because they're family. Post away. I'm sorry your parents fucking suck. Need a fresh set of eyes. 32M, 33F, married 6 years. My wife 33F and I 32M have been married for 6 years. While we were engaged, she had an emotional affair where she and another man named Brian messaged all day and told each other they loved each other, etc. I found out one day, and she broke contact, and we moved forward. Now we have 2 kids, she is a stay-at-home mother and I work most days from 7-7. I travel a bit for work, so I always call her throughout the day to try to ensure that we still get to talk even though I'm not around as much as I'd like to be. Something has felt off lately, so I decided to check my wife's messages while she was sleeping. Not proud of this, but I feel like the only reason I did this was because of the past affair. I found a weird message to her friend which said, "I decided not to meet up with him. I just couldn't do it. I can't be that person." And her friend said, "I'd support you either way." And she replied, "It sucks crushing him like that and giving him the false hope, but easier to do it to him than to op." I would feel terrible and the guilt would literally eat me up. That was the whole text conversation. I had to confront her about this because it was very hurtful. Her response was that Brian had messaged her and she just deleted the message and did not meet with him. She said she had talked to her friend on the phone about it. While I believe she did not meet with him, it certainly appears to me like she considered meeting him and they did talk. She claims she did not, but she deleted all of their conversations. I want to believe her, but all of text messages to her friend suggest to me that there was more than she's telling me. Do you think she's lying about talking to him? She claims she had zero interest in meeting with him, but the first message makes me doubt that. Am I being overly insecure due to the past affair, or do you agree that it appears she considered meeting up with him and discussed it with her friend on the phone prior to these messages? We have marriage therapy scheduled in 2 weeks. Thank you all for your thoughts. If she didn't reply to his message at all, I don't see how she was giving him false hope and crushing him. She's not being 100% honest, and personally that would make it hard for me to trust her going forward. She broke your trust again. If it really was innocent and she didn't reply, she should have told you. I don't believe for a moment that she didn't reply. The fact she discussed with friend meant she was considering it. Why wasn't Brian blocked? Why was there even an avenue for him to be in contact with her? She is not to be trusted. She didn't have guilt lying about his message and not telling you. You only found out because you knew something was up. Biggest mistake was you marrying someone without a moral compass. If she cheated once, she will cheat again. If she were really committed to true change, she would not even be in the remote arena of infidelity. Instead, she jumped right back into her selfish impulses. Marriage therapy won't help. Never really does. She needs her own treatment for being selfish, impulsive, lying, and deceitfulness, mistreating her partner. There's definitely something she's not telling you. Can you call logs? Or sit her down and tell her to text her friend in front of you something like, "I still can't believe I told Brian that." Either her friend will text her back in surprise saying they never talked, or say something along the lines of, "Which part?" If she truly never spoke to him, she should have no problem doing this. Yeah man, she 100% considered it. That message is the evidence. She didn't just get a message, she thought about meeting him, talked to her friend, then bailed because of guilt. That's not nothing. You're not crazy or insecure, this is textbook emotional cheating territory again. She killed it before it got physical, sure, but you're not wrong to feel betrayed. Therapy can't come soon enough. Not sure what you're looking for here. You're supporting this woman, and she's definitely keeping her options open. Even if this man goes away, she'll have a new Brian before long. Personally, I would not accept this in any way.